couple of months ago, we were driving home from a Dodger game. The stadium lights were drifting in the distance, and the roar of the crowd was still humming in my chest. I remember leaning my head against the cool glass of the passenger window. My body was tired in that comfortable after a long day kind of way. I should mention we're Dodger fans, so happy is relative on the season. But that day, I was content. My husband was at the wheel, his steady hands placed gently at 10 and 2. The radio filled the silence between us. I drifted off to sleep. The next thing I remember, the car was shaking, the sound of the rumble strips beneath us, and the realization my husband had fallen asleep too. 75 miles per hour on a crowded highway. And in that instant, I thought, this is how lives change forever, in a single moment. Every year, fatigue plays a role in thousands of crashes. But unlike alcohol or texting, tiredness doesn't leave evidence behind. There's no breathalyzer or messages or record on a cell phone, just silence. And science tells us that staying awake too long impairs your body the same way alcohol does. Although we don't fear drowsy driving the way we fear drunk driving, we shrug it off. We even brag about how little sleep we get at times, as if exhaustion were a badge of honor. And maybe that's because fatigue feels harmless until it's not. I want everybody here to think about who might be on the road right now. Maybe a nurse driving home after a night shift, or a truck driver racing against a deadline. Maybe a parent that's been up since dawn. It could be your son. Drowsy driving doesn't discriminate. It could be me, could be you. It could be somebody that you love. Now, I wish that I could say that near miss on the Highway 99 was the closest I came to that danger, but it wasn't. On June 18th, 2021, at 5:50 a.m., my son Paulie was driving home. He wasn't drinking, he wasn't texting, he was just tired. And in one unguarded moment, he closed his eyes. He never opened them again. Paulie was 21 years old, funny and kind and charismatic. He was such a jokester. His goal was to make everybody laugh that was around him, although he is probably not laughing at this photo that I chose of him today. But his kindness was just as unforgettable. He was the kind of kid that would hold the grocery store door open, even if he's seen somebody coming from across the parking lot, or help the elderly neighbor bring in groceries. Maybe even give his sister the last piece of pizza, even though he really wanted it. And in an instant, all of that light and love was gone. So here's what I've come to understand in this. We underestimate tiredness. We treat it as weakness, as if it's something that we could power through. But it's powerful, and it's deadly. There are no flashing warning signs. There's no clear line between I'm okay and I can't keep my eyes open. And oftentimes, the only evidence comes too late. So what could we do? We can begin by treating drowsy driving the way we treat alcohol. We can have the courage to say, friend, you're too tired, let me drive. Or on road trips, pull over, Switch drivers. Build in time to rest. If your eyelids are feeling heavy and your car's drifting in its lane, pull over and take a power nap. We can have honest conversations with our teen drivers and our family and friends about the dangers of drowsy driving. And this all sounds really simple, but so many lives could be saved if we allowed ourselves the honesty in having that conversation. Since Paulie learned to walk, he was nonstop, full of energy, full of life, never afraid to try new things or meet new people. He was truly one of a kind, and his death was preventable. I cannot bring Paulie back, but I can share his story, and I can ask this of you. Before you drive, take a breath and ask yourself, am I okay enough to drive? Am I awake enough to drive? And if one person answers that question honestly, if one life is spared, then Paulie's story keeps making a difference. Thank you.